Hello there, it is your mom of three. I'm still here in NYC and I'm back with another video. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. My name is Taneza. I am the mother of three lovely children living in the heart of New York City. My YouTube family, my tribe, is always accepting new members. And the only thing you, my friend, have to do, SUBSCRIBE, SUBSCRIBE, smash that subscribe button. If you are already a tribe member, thank you for the support. Make sure that your notifications are on so that every time I upload, you get an alert. I'm not a singer, okay. Within my tribe, I have favorites. I do, my Bible scholars. We have been on a mission to read through the Bible since January 1st of this year. We are currently smack dab in the middle of 2nd Chronicles. This video is a review of 2nd Chronicles chapters 13 and 14. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. Now as king, Abijah went to war with Jeroboam. Abijah had 400,000 fighting men. Jeroboam had 800,000 fighting men. I wanted to read for you guys verse 5. Abijah is standing on Mount Zemarium, speaking to Jeroboam and all of Israel. Verse 5, he says, "Don't you know that the Lord, the God of Israel, has given the kingship of Israel to David and to his descendants forever by a covenant of salt?" Abijah, standing on Mount Zemarium, reminds Jeroboam how he rebelled against King Solomon. Yes, he does have a vast army, but it comes with false gods, lowercase g. Jeroboam's plan was to ambush his adversaries, Abijah's men, by planting troops behind them so that they will be cornered by either side. But verse 14 says that Judah turned and saw that they were being attacked at both front and rear. Then they cried out to the Lord. The priests blew their trumpets. Again, what did they do in the midst of this attack? They cried out to the Lord. I have in my notes that God heard their battle cry and routed Jeroboam and all of Israel. The Israelites fled before Judah, and God delivered them into their hands. Verse 17 says that Abijah and his men inflicted heavy losses. There were a total of 500,000 casualties. At the beginning of the chapter, Abijah had 400,000 fighting men, Jeroboam had 800. So literally, Jeroboam had twice the number of troops. Yet, Judah's people cried out to God, God heard them, and they inflicted losses, 500,000 casualties, more than the total number of their troops. The chapter ends with verses 18. The men of Israel were subdued on that occasion. The men of Judah were victorious. Why? Because they relied on the Lord, the God of their fathers. Jeroboam in verse 20 did not regain power during the time of Abijah, and the Lord struck him down and he died. But Abijah grew in strength. He married 14 wives, had 22 sons, and 16 daughters. Bible scholars, I want to reiterate that point again. At the beginning, before the fight, Abijah had half the number of men of Jeroboam. He had 400,000, Jeroboam had 800,000. And because they cried out to God, God made them victorious. Abijah and his men inflicted heavy losses. They killed more men than their entire army. Chapter 14. Abijah passed. Asa, his son, succeeded him. There was peace for 10 years. I wanted to read verses 2, 3, and 4 of chapter 14. Asa, before we get started, I'm a fan of Asa, you guys. Kings 15:14 became a life verse for me. Did not remove the high places. Asa's heart was fully committed to the Lord all his life. Oof. Bible scholars, I want to be fully committed to the Lord all my life. Fully committed to the Lord. Wow, it's so powerful. Even though he could not reach the high places, Asa's heart was fully committed to the Lord all of his life. Here's Asa again. I'm a big fan of Asa's. So verse 2, Asa did what was good and right in the eyes of the Lord. He removed the foreign altars and the high places, smashed the sacred stones, and cut down the Asherah poles. He commanded Judah to seek the Lord. Ooh, can you imagine that? The king commanded Judah to seek the Lord, the God of their fathers, and to obey his laws and commands. Asa did a lot during his rule. Asa removed the high places and the incense altars. He built up the fortified cities, built up towns, putting walls around them. He built an army of 300,000 men from Judah, 280,000 men from Benjamin. In this chapter, the Cushites came to war with Asa. He calls out to the Lord. Verse 11. Asa called to the Lord his God and said, Lord, there is no one like you to help the powerless against the mighty. Help us, O Lord our God, for we rely on you. In your name we have come against this vast army. O Lord, you are our God. Do not let men prevail against you. Whew, this is such a powerful verse, you guys. There is no one like you, he says to the Lord. It says, help us, O Lord, for we rely on you. And Bible scholars, that's what I really feel is in God's heart. He wants us to rely on him, not on alcohol, not on drugs, not on other people. Those are all false gods with the lowercase g. He wants his people to rely on him. The Lord struck down the Cushites. There were so many Cushites that had fallen, they could not recover. So many Cushites fell, they could not recover. Judah carried off much plunder. They destroyed all villages around Gerar. They attacked camps of the herdsmen and in turn carried off sheep and goats and camels before returning to Jerusalem. That, Bible scholars, concludes our review of 2 Chronicles chapters 13 and 14. Any questions, comments, or revelations, just drop them in the comments below. Bible scholars, I look forward to seeing you in our next review, which will cover chapters 15 and 16. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in our next review. Bye for now, Bible scholars.